Hi, Sanjib. Thank you so much for giving us your time and interviewing with us. For the viewers, may we request you to please share your journey, your story in your own words?
Yeah, hi Dikshita, and thanks Express Global in giving me this opportunity to share my experiences, my journey, and my feelings about the process overall. Yeah, let me start with my introduction first. So my name is Sanjib Deka. I'm basically from Assam, India, and I'm an engineer by education and sales and marketing by my profession, and obviously a proud father of my 2 years old daughter. So my professional journey starts immediately after engineering when I started a US multinational in the packaging industry. I worked there for around 2.5 years, and this is the time when I came close contact with automobiles and the automotive industry, and my journey with Tata Motors began at the time. So I handled the commercial vehicles of Tata Motors in the state of Bihar, and then like after 1 year, I then joined Eicher Motors. It's a VECV, Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicle Limited, to join the northeastern business as well as the business in the Kingdom of Bhutan.
All right.
And with subsequent promotions, like after 2 years, I was promoted to the country manager level where I handled the Bangladesh business, to handle the trucks and bus divisions in Bangladesh.
Okay.
So this is the time. It's exactly like 2019 when I was promoted, or 2018 end when I was promoted in this role, and I moved to Gurgaon, to be seated in the head office. So
Mm-hmm.
then I decided to go for a higher studies. So it's always was my dream, but somehow due to some family obligations, I was not able to do. But me and my wife, we decided like this is the time when we should go ahead. And I started preparing for the GMAT. So accordingly, I started my GMAT at around January 2019, and by April, May, I started giving exams for GMAT.
All right.
So the time was brisk. So it's a very short period of time, and we are also planning our first baby. So we thought like this is the crucial time because after this period, I'll not be able to get any chance of going for a higher studies. So
Right.
that's why my time frame was cramped, and eventually like I got a 690 scores in GMAT, and I contacted you for the process.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided on some certain schools where I applied. So initially I applied for 3 schools, and I got into the interview round in one of them, like ESADE Business School in Barcelona, and I successfully cracked that interview. And in October 2020, I started my MBA. Yeah, so at first, like for 15 days, it was a visa issue, so I couldn't able to go there. But after that, I attended on campus. And after 9 months of our first year journey, so I then enrolled for a internship in a Barcelona startup.
Okay.
So yeah, because I already did almost like 8 years of I have already 8 years of experience in corporate industry. So I wanted to also exposure myself to the startup ecosystem. So I choose one Barcelona-based startup there. Then after 3 months, I did my second internship in a Amsterdam-based startup where in December I finished my internship, and after internship I successfully converted that particular internship to a full time. Currently, I'm doing a full time in that startup itself. So right now we are planning big, and I'm also planning to move to Amsterdam. So we are talking about the formalities.
All
Yeah.
right.
So this is about me in a nutshell.
Okay, this is amazing. And congratulations for your entire success journey. It's been truly inspiring to actually listen to your experiences so far.
No
So,
problem.
in your opinion, what are a few factors or actions you took that made all the difference?
Okay, there are very few factors into play as well as some of the actions that I did, but I think most important one obviously was my determination because higher studies was something what I was aspiring from a very long time. So as you can see from my profile, like after engineering, I didn't go to the engineering profiles or engineering roles. I went directly to business roles. So MBA was something because my brother did an MBA, and so he inspired me a lot to do that. To do an MBA was a dream for me.
Mm-hmm.
But due to some, as I already told you, like due to some family obligations and some, like financial constraints, so I was not, like determined to go there at that point. But I think determination is one thing when like yeah, mom, as well as my family support. My wife also supported me a lot at the time. So obviously the determination, the family support. I think also a targeted timeline. Just because I have a very, very, like short pipeline to do all these things. So I also, from the very beginning, I made a target, like, okay, by this time, the round one of all the B school starts. So I have to complete by GMAT by this month. And then I should keep around 2 months for, like other preparations. And then I should start. So timeline. And last but not the least, obviously, I should also thank Expert Global's help in that, because I think the GMAT preparation, obviously, I took Expert Global for the application process, but GMAT is always like 5-10% of the entire journey. So main thing happens after GMAT during applications. So in that case, Expert Global's, the kind of support they gave me in building a story, in creating my own stories. So those things helped me a lot in successfully cracking the interviews, and also successfully getting my application accepted by those schools. So yeah, obviously, so these are probably the 4 factors, like my determination, family support, targeted timeline, and the help from Expert Globals will be the key factors in this success.
That's amazing. It's truly inspiring. So, with the benefit of hindsight, what were a few mistakes that you believe you committed in the process?
I think I have already told you one of my mistake. Like, I started very late. So I think GMAT is one of the very small factors, but again, it has a 5 years of window. So I could have done the GMAT first, because as you move towards move ahead in your career, so your responsibilities started building up, and you get less and less time for studying and all such things. So I think, like, if I would have given the GMAT around 3-4 years back, I could have a better chance of getting a higher scores. And also, like, I had a larger time frame to prepare for GMAT and to get a better score. The starting late and having a very limited time window for GMAT is one of the mistakes that I did.
Okay.
Another one, again related to my work, is because I was not very punctual on GMAT studies as well, because I was handling Bangladesh. So many a time I had to go to Bangladesh, and like in different parts of Bangladesh, and I had to start probably early at 6 o'clock in the morning. So in many a times I used to reach by around 11 o'clock. So that punctuality in study was not there. So sometimes I used to study for around 5 hours, but for the next couple of days, I was not even studying at all.
Oh,
So that punctuality I was missing in my preparation.
okay.
And I think the third one, for the mistake that I made for me, was not even looking for the Indian B schools. Like, I know there are many good Indian B schools, but I didn't even look at them.
Mm-hmm.
I solely focused on a certain geography and certain other schools, which I think is a good thing. But again, I could have broadened my horizon by also looking at the Indian B schools.
All right. Okay. So, what would you like to say about your experience and learnings from managing the application timeline?
Yeah, I would say, okay, everybody is so scared about GMAT. What I already told you, like, GMAT is only a part of the equation. So main thing happens only during the application. So I think try to finish your GMAT as soon as possible, and at least keep 2 to 3 months time for the application process, like to build your stories, to have a proper resume, and to answer all the questions in an application wherever it's possible, wherever
Yes.
in the best way you can do. My experiences with applications is, like, don't take it lightly. If somebody wants to take an expert's help, so they should go for it. It's not like, because the amount of money that we'll be spending at that time, it seems like a lot. But if I now go back 1 years back, so the kind of schools I got, so that amount of money doesn't it is nothing in terms of the return that I'll be getting in future years.
Right.
So I think give your best in applications. If need, always take help from experts. And in terms of applications, I would say what one mistakes I did was, I take it as a serial process. Like, I applied for one school, and the moment that school gave me rejections or whatever the replies, I applied for the next. So what I suggest people at least try, at least go simultaneously for 2 or 3 schools, because the round one or the early rounds are very important. Like this, if we apply in round one or early rounds, it improves our acceptance rate. And in that case, if you can able to apply maximum number of schools in round one, it will
Right.
definitely help the candidate only. And so yeah, so this is my advice. Like, don't go in series. At least apply to some, like at least 3 or 4 schools simultaneously, to
Okay.
maximize your chances in a B school.
That's a great suggestion. So, would you like to describe your interview experience with the B school?
Yeah, sure. So I applied to three B schools. So these are basically, I applied to ESA in Spain, then HSC Paris, and then ESADE. I didn't get the interview calls from the other two business schools. I only got the interview from ESADE. And obviously the interview process for each business schools are different. So in case of ESADE, it was very casual and you know, it's very open. So the program director, she asked me about my professional histories, my personal backgrounds, then what kind of like I'm having my two startups here. So about the startup, you know, how I'm managing it, and some of my failures, as well as like why I'm choosing I was choosing ISADE, and how I was able to, I was going to contribute to the ISADE community as a whole. So these were some basic questions, and I think while preparing for the applications with Experts Global, so we focused on all these points. So it helped me a lot because we dig dive in each of the aspects, and I could able to give a proper answer to it. But again. It was not like I was selected on the first go itself. So they kept me in waitlist for around 10 to 15 days. During this period, that the program director, she came to India. She organized alumni meet in Gurgaon. So I attended that, and so I made a lot of friends, and like not only friends, like even my current, some of my fellow colleagues are also was in that meeting, and she was also observing me during that entire period. And just after the meeting, she gave me a confirmation like, okay, you are selected. So I would say it's not only about the formal interviews. In many times, you are also like, the moment you are in a B school event, the people are observing you. And I think this is also a very good opportunity to shine yourself and get that particular invite. So this happens with me, and I think it can happen with anybody else.
Right. So, would you like to share your MBA experience?
Yeah, sure. So it started like it was a hectic experience at first, just because it was supposed to start in September 2020. The COVID hit. It took me around 3 months to get my police clearance certificates, and another 1 month for visa clearance and all this stuff. So the starting was hectic, and but eventually in October I went to Barcelona, and I met my colleagues, and it started getting better. So I was a bit lucky in terms of the school selection, just because most of the schools in Germany and UK were completely closed. However, Spain was a bit open in terms of COVID. So we had like 50% online and 50% on campus, classes. And we could able to at least enjoy the kind of on campus exposure that we are expecting from an MBA.
Right.
And the MBA experience overall was very good. Like we had like people from 48 different nationalities, and in this first year, like we have 3 trimesters, and in 3 trimesters we have 3 different teams. I had to work with 3 different teams, and all these members are from different countries. So they make sure that your background, your geography, and the gender and all these things are like matched properly, so that you have a complete experience there. So yeah, and I'm proudly saying like there are, I can, from these particular teams, probably there are 6-7 people who became my lifelong friends. Like we are still in discussions with them, and probably we have also planned like after 15 years when we'll meet, after 25 years when we'll meet. So we also planned all this stuff. So overall, the experience was, in terms of education, the experience was really good. In terms of like job placements, so I would say the scenario of job placements in Europe is completely different than India, where in India, like the placement committee used to take care of all this stuff. So we have a placement week, and most of the people used to get placed there. But in Europe, that scenario is different. So
Right.
we started our preparations like from the first day itself, like how we have lots of sessions, how to prepare your resume, your cover letters and all this stuff. Probably after 2 months we started, not even, probably after 1 month we started applying for different companies for our internship. We have a placement team there, but the placement team is not like India, where you like students are worry free, like the placement team will bring companies and they will place. We have to, like, they will introduce you introduce us to the companies, but at the end we have to connect with the relevant guys. We have to network as much as possible, and then get the benefit out of it. So this, I think, in a way, it's a good thing that because to be honest, I applied for probably more than 100 companies till today, and this has given me not only like an experience with applications, but also a lot of networking. Like I could able to I networked with almost like 100 companies, so I have now connections in 100 different companies, and those companies like big companies. The alumni, obviously we also network with alumni, so that's a very good base, like more than 60,000-70,000 of alumni base across world that we can bank on. But most importantly, I think it also gives you that resilience. Like I got so many rejections from companies that now, I know, like, okay, how to handle rejections, how to handle these stress moments and all. Like I can share you one moment. Like I got an internship. Like I got an internship in Amazon, but like after 1 month of giving me the result, they had to withdraw that internship just because some of the issues in COVID in UK. So yeah, those were tough times, but at least it teaches you how to handle this stress, how to handle this, how to build resilience in yourself. So yeah, in a way, I think it's a very unique experience for me, and I'm really happy that I chose ESADE, and at least and eventually, like, the company that I'm working right now is also founded by one ESADE alumni. So that's also the kind of networking you can see. Yeah.
All right, that's amazing. It seems to be quite a wholesome experience.
Yes.
So, can you tell us about your journey post MBA? Like, how did the entire pre application experience and your MBA journey contribute to your growth post MBA?
Yeah, sure. Okay, pre-applications, I would say, like, okay, I divided into my professional life, pre-MBA, and also the application process, because that also plays a good role in my post-MBA career.
Right.
So, okay, obviously the MBA, my previous experiences, like my professional experiences, my startup experiences, as well as my applications helped me in getting into that particular B schools. But most, I would rather focus on the job perspective, like how it helped me in getting those particular jobs. So for example, I was mostly looking towards the startup community,
Mm-hmm.
so where I can get exposure. And I think my startup experience previously helped me a lot there, because I could able to shine, like in some of the cases, like I could able to show them like how I manage at least a team of 7-8 people in my hometown, and could able to grow that business, which I think is something what the companies are looking for.
Right.
And also, even this also is the case for the second company itself. Like it was also a startup, so the
Mm-hmm.
same thing.
All right.
Then my previous experiences of sales and marketing, because like sales and marketing is a transferable skill. So so you don't mind like whether you are in a automotive industry or in the technology industry, and whether you are in India or Europe. So these experiences really helped me, because obviously in a startup right now, apart from the tech guys, I think most important one is sales and business development. So they want to grow their business as much as possible, and I think this helped me a lot in getting those particular offers from the founders. Another one point, at least from my application perspective, is, as I've already told you, like with Expert Global, I found out a lot of stories in me, like for the applications. We created a lot of stories, we fine-tuned a lot of stories, and I think it helped me in my interviews for the companies as well.
All
Like most of the, at least in Europe, most of the companies, whenever we used to interview,
mm-hmm.
so those interviews were behavioral interviews, not like technical interviews. And the questions were like, it's like a star format questions.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about a time when you failed. Tell me about a time, when you had to say no to somebody else or something like that. So those kind of stories we already prepared during our application process. And I'm thanking Expert Globals for helping me out. But these are the stories that actually I again refined it, And I use those stories in getting, cracking those interviews with be it startup, be it Amazon, everywhere, probably in 7-8 companies during my tenure. And so this, I think, is one very important point. Like whenever applying to a particular B schools, don't just apply and just try to like find your best stories, trying
Mhm.
to refine it,
Right.
keep it with you. It's not like the stories are only for the applications. Just keep it with you, because this will help you in future whenever you are going for like interviewing in a bigger company or even in startups.
Right.
So yeah, so these things, like, take every step of the application process seriously,
Mhm.
and don't throw it away after application. Just keep it, and it will help you in future.
Absolutely. So, do you have any final message or suggestion to all the viewers watching this video?
Yeah, sure. Like, let me give my message for the GMAT, and also for the for the MBA applications as well. For GMAT, one of my mistake was not giving too many mocks. That not too many mocks. I didn't even give the 2 mocks itself. Like, I only gave one. So um, apart from all the things that I've already told you, like keeping a proper timeline and planning ahead,
Yes.
also try to focus on some giving some mocks. It will only it only to assess your own skills. For example, I would suggest what my experiences is like 1 or 2 mocks before starting the preparation,
Mm-hmm.
like 2 to 4 mocks in between, just to assess like at what stage you are, in which part of the, probably in vowel, in which part of verbal you are good, in which part you are not, to assess those.
Mm-hmm.
And probably 1 or 2 probably 2 mocks just before the GMAT, just to give a little bit boost, or your self confidence, also to assess yourself, like not to um, not to get that false hope that I'll get 750, I'll get the 780 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So just to give a realistic assessment, so you should give those mocks.
Mm-hmm.
uh, be punctual, be like if you're studying for GMAT, I would say clear with the or complete with the GMAT as soon as possible. So this is only like 5% of the entire journey.
Right.
But be punctual while preparing for GMAT.
Mm-hmm.
And also, don't lose your focus during application. I think 90% of your focus should be on application, and be it your improving your resumes, building your stories, or answering those questions in the applications.
Mm-hmm.
So be there. And if somebody has time still, then I would say GMAT, even I see a lot of people who have less than 650 GMAT scores getting into good base schools just because their profile were too good. So don't try to, if some people are in the early stage of their career,
Mm-hmm.
so I would suggest them to try to build their career in such a way that it adds an impact to the business or to the community, probably by taking more responsibilities, trying to go to a company where they can see like the future lies, or like sometimes even helping communities through various NGOs, and associating with some certain big organizations also helps in building up your not only resume but also your profile. So these are the tips you should try from very beginning to at least go to that application process.
All right.
And regarding the application process, I think you should first start, beforehand, you should also look for your target geography and target, colleges, because the application process for, probably if you're targeting India, if you want to stay in India after MBA, so
Yes.
it's better to go for an Indian B school rather than probably an European B schools.
Right.
But right, and if you have like only 2-3 years of experiences, then probably you should focus more on US than Europe. So you should factor all these things in, and
Yeah.
like find your target geography and schools, and accordingly you should set your GMAT score. Like, okay, I'm targeting that particular GMAT. For example, if you're going to US, you
Mm-hmm.
should definitely set your GMAT score to be a little bit higher, probably 720, 730, or something like that. But if you're targeting Europe, but I'm not saying about the bigger schools like INSEAD or London B schools, they still have like have higher GMAT scores, but
Right.
like the next B schools like HEC, ESADE and all this stuff. So even if you have a lower GMAT scores, yeah, if you have a very good international exposure, you have a very good, like professional journey, so you can still get into those B schools. So uh, after setting up your geography and schools, you should also set your target GMAT score so that, you
Okay.
know, it's always good to target for 800, but you should also be realistic. So
Right.
that's my point. And then whatever like preparations you do for applications,
Mhm.
just don't throw it away. Take it seriously and keep it with you, because this will help you in your actual interviews with the companies
Right.
later on. Yeah,
Absolutely.
so these are some of the
Mhm.
suggestions that I would pass on to the future MBA aspirants.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, Sanjeev, for giving us your valuable suggestions and your tips for all the future candidates. I'm sure it's going to be very helpful for them in their journey and experiences as well. It's been amazing listening to your entire story and about your experiences. Thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you for giving us your time as well.
Yep. Thank you again for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences with you. And I wish best of luck to you and Expert Global as well. And I think definitely in future also we'll keep in touch.
Absolutely, we will for sure. Thank you so much and take care. Have a great day.
Same to you. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.